the AFC will be represented by the Ravens in Super Bowl 60.
Oh, you think the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl this year? All right, Justin, what's up? How you feeling about going 5-0 in your first video on the stream or on the channel and there in week 2? How you feeling, man?
It's the NFL. I mean, we're into week 3. We're going into week 3 and everything I feel like the league has been flipped upside down. A lot of things going on and I really, when we make these picks, we're just kind of going off of what we feel.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I was pretty pumped to see that I got all my picks correct, but this week could be a whole other it could go the other way. I could go 0 and 5 this time. It's just unpredictable and I like it like that.
Yeah, especially like this early in the season. I know that like I think that when it comes to even soccer, because you know that I have my channel with MLS, MLS is probably the hardest league out of any league in soccer to predict because you just don't know. You don't know what team's going to show up, like if they're going to take a day off, because you can lose games and still get in the playoffs, and that's the ultimate, the ultimate thing is to
Mhm.
get into the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. There was some surprises in week 2. The injuries are what surprised me. There's so many quarterbacks that are either questionable or out this week and even maybe a couple weeks after. So the biggest one stand out is Burrow. Burrow for Cincinnati. That's a tough one for them.
I just I mean, Browning, dude, it's a miracle they won that game. I believe he threw 3 interceptions and they still won. But
Mhm.
going forward, I think the Bengals season it doesn't help also that they're in the AFC North.
Yeah.
They're playing against they've got the Ravens who are killing people left and right, putting up 40 points and you know, but it's just like I don't know. They're gonna have to find somebody different. I think they got to sign another quarterback, and this is going to be a wild take, but I'm going to throw it out there since we're talking about it. If I am the Cincinnati Bengals, I'm not I gotta move on from Browning, and I am making a trade, and I don't know what that trade would be. Can't be anything crazy.
Mhm.
I'm going and I'm getting Jameis Winston.
Really? You're thinking that, that's what you would do if you were in the Bengals
He's in New
position?
York.
Mhm.
He's not the starter. Russell Wilson's running things there in New York. And I think Jameis Winston has gotten much better as years have, his career has progressed. And I would he's not great, but I think he would be a decent placeholder.
I mean, I kind of agree with that. I think that he's a good backup. And for a situation like they're in right now, I think that he could come in and get the job done. But I will even say I have watched a couple other podcasts on NFL, and one guy thinks that Browning can do the job and thinks that he'll have no problem once he gets comfortable, because you're just throwing he Burrow got hurt, you're just throwing in the 3 interceptions. You're a professional. Even coming off the bench, you should be able to do a little bit better than that. Uh,
Yeah.
but we'll see if they stick with Browning. And I think that they're saying that for this week they're definitely sticking with him for this week. But if he has a
Who
poor
do they
performance,
play? Do you know?
the
Because
Bengals
because I'll
they
tell you, man, if they do stick with him and he goes on a win streak or whatever, I mean, I'll admit I was wrong,
yeah,
but like,
they have the
mm,
Vikings. They're on the road.
ah,
They're on the road
oh, I don't
against.
know. But JJ McCarthy's hurt
Yeah, and
for the
he
Vikings.
also might be out. So
It's hard to tell.
yeah,
It really
it's one of
is.
those things like whenever the quarterback gets hurt, and especially a good quarterback for a team,
Yeah.
it's hard to predict what is going to happen with that team going forward. So yeah, we'll see about that one. So we'll go ahead. We're going to jump into our picks here, and the first game that we're going to talk about is the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the New England Patriots. Steelers looked awful. They looked awful last week. They played against Seattle, losing 31-17. The Patriots go on the road, get a victory there at Hard Rock against the Miami Dolphins. I think the Miami Dolphins are finished, man. That's all I have to say about them. But are the Steelers finished? That defensive performance, a lot of people are talking about their defense and how bad they performed. What's your thoughts on this game?
If we would have picked the Pittsburgh Seattle game last week, I would have picked Pittsburgh. I
Hmm.
did not think Seattle would have played the way they did, but Pittsburgh, I mean, they kept it close. But man, they never, I don't know if you got to see the highlight, they never recovered from
Hmm.
that kickoff fumble,
Yep.
like that botch they had there in the end zone. Once they lost to that, or they got that, Seattle got that touchdown out of that, it's like they were just behind the 8 ball
Yeah.
going from there,
Well,
and they could not get it going.
oh, and then also like they had that, and like that's a huge mistake with the whole botched kickoff. Like that's a huge mistake.
Mhm.
But then also like you saw Rogers visibly frustrated with his one receiver because he went to throw that pass into the end zone, and if that receiver didn't put a hand on it, the tight end would have caught it for a touchdown, and that would have, I think that would have gave the Steelers the lead or put them up. It was a 17-point swing very quickly in that game for Seattle over um, Pittsburgh. Now, on the other hand, the Patriots they played against the Dolphins. I can't really say anything. The quarterback May went 19 for 23 with two touchdowns, and the rushing leader only had 54 rushing yards. I think that's the thing. I know this is going to go off just this game, but I will say one thing about the season so far is I feel like there is no rushing. There is no running backs that have a lot of yards other than Derrick Henry, and we'll talk about him a little bit later because we talk about that game. But yeah, like I feel like he every other game, game that I'm looking at, like there's no running game for these teams, and I feel like yes, we are in a new era where it's just a pass happy league, but I feel like you still need to have a run game at least a little bit.
Yeah, you definitely do, and, you know, Mike Vrabel, now the head coach of the Patriots, once again, it's a very young team. We're only 2 weeks in. I did see, I wanna say it was maybe NFL, on one of their social medias, they actually have the Dolphins at number 32 in the power rankings as the worst team in the league. Now, of course, it's all opinion.
Yeah.
Um, I Dolphins, I believe, they play this Thursday,
Yeah,
and they're
against
playing the
so
Bills.
yeah, prime time game.
So
They're putting the Dolphins in a prime time game. Uh,
we'll kind of see what the Dolphins are more like when it comes to that game.
mhm.
But I don't know, like this Patriot team is so young, it's really hard to tell. I think if I when it comes to this game, I do like what Pittsburgh is brewing.
Mhm.
They just have to fix the hiccups.
Yes,
And
100%.
uh, Aaron Rodgers, I think, is already playing better than he did for the Jets.
Mhm.
I think he has more of a connection, more of a bond with the team that he has there in Pittsburgh right now. Um, so I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh for this game.
Okay, so what do you have a final score, or are you just
I do.
okay? Let's hear your
Um,
prediction here.
I think, Drake May had a great game, but I think the Pittsburgh defense gets it together, and I think they're going to be a problem for him. And I think Pittsburgh wins this game 23-10.
Okay. Oh, so kind of low scoring ish too. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was another thing I was going to bring up is right now the Steelers defense in like pretty much every stat is at the bottom, like the
Mm.
worst in the league, and they are the highest paid defense, like the most money spent on a defense in the league. So the Steelers got to get it together. And I think with how much like backlash and how silly they looked in this last game against Seattle, I'm with you. I think that the Steelers are going to go on the road. I think this New England team does they're moving in a right direction potentially. Obviously, no direction that Tom Brady,
Oh
was
yeah.
with the Patriots, but I think that they are moving in the right direction. But I think the Steeler team gets it together and go at it hard this week and make a stance and say, look, we are this good defense and we are worth the money that has been spent. And I think the Steelers win this, but I think that it's going to be a little bit higher than that. And
Okay.
I think that the Steelers are going to win like 28-17 is what I'll go with for this game. I think the Steelers are the better team. I think that they also need to get a running game because you can't have just the season leader has 85. Warren only has 85 yards on the season. Uh, I think if they can get that started too, it would help very much because I will be honest, don't really know their receivers for the Steelers. Do they? I don't feel like they have a big name wide
Metcalf,
receiver.
I think, is the only one I
Yes,
know.
yes, Metcalf. Yep, I forgot about
Um,
him because right,
Outside of him, though, I'm with you.
yeah,
Uh,
right now Warren is their leading receiver, which he's the running back, and he's leading the receiving right now. So uh, maybe if the receivers get a little bit more involved, but like you said, Rodgers has looked good on the season so far. He has 5 touchdowns with only 2 interceptions. Well, only two. It's really 2 interceptions. One, averaging one a game. But he's looking good. I think that they're going to build off of the disappointment of last week, and I think they go on the road and win this one.
Me too. I agree.
All right, Justin. So this next one we're going to talk about is a 4:05 kickoff Eastern time. It's the Denver Broncos versus the Los Angeles Chargers. The Broncos are coming off of a loss, that crazy loss there against the Colts. A lot of controversy ish, I think. I know that rules are rules, but also if you go back and look at that last kick, like very much on the line. So they lost 29-28 at the buzzard pretty much. And then the Chargers are coming off of a great victory over the Raiders 20-9. How you feeling about this one?
Um, call it like it is. Okay.
Okay.
Let me just say this because I am a Titans fan. I'm not being biased towards the Colts or anything like that, honestly. But that game was decided on a terrible call.
Yes. I hate when
One,
I hate when games are called or finished like that.
the Broncos won.
Mhm.
The Colts missed that kick. And but yeah, they both have the Chargers and the Broncos. They both have dominant defenses. However, Denver has been struggling. They gave up over 400 yards on defense this past week,
Oh wow.
and
Against the
to,
Colts?
to the
To the
yes,
Colts?
yes.
If they
I don't know. It doesn't seem to me like the Chargers. They also Herbert came back to reality after his huge week 1 game. I
Mhm.
mean, I think he was still solid. Do you have his stats from last week, Herbert?
Oh yeah, give me 1 second here. Yeah, Herbert went 19 for 27 with 2 touchdowns for 242 yards. So still
Okay.
a pretty pretty
Yeah.
decent game.
Yeah. I don't know. I think in this situation, when it comes to the defenses, I'm going to trust that Charger defense over the Broncos. And I'm also going to trust Herbert over Knicks. I just think that the Chargers, I said last week, I like what Harbaugh's doing. And I think what they got going is working. It's clicking. And Denver, even though it's a game they should have won, they got to get something figured out because these games are a little too close. And obviously, giving up 400 yards on the defense
Yeah,
is just atrocious. Can't
almost
do it.
500,
Yeah.
473. You know,
Wow.
if the Broncos defense plays like that against this, Herbert is going to have a game like he did in week 1. I mean, the man will tear them apart by himself pretty much. But I'm in agreement with you. I think yes, the Broncos have usually a good defense. Not this past game. I like Knicks and Dobbs has 139 yards on the year for rushing. I like this Broncos team, but I like this Charger. Like Chargers are a team that I can see going very far right now with both their defense and then if Herbert stays healthy and continues to play. I mean, right now, 560 yards on the season, 44 for 61 with 5 touchdowns through 2 weeks. And he played against two good defenses. Between, well, I guess the Raiders aren't the greatest defense, but that's still usually the Raiders have a good defense. And then the Chiefs, those are
Oh
two
yeah.
pretty good wins to start off the
Hmm.
season. And then now they're playing against the Broncos, but they are at home. So that I 100% feel as though home field advantage is a huge thing in the NFL. So for this one, I think that you were going the same way as me. I'm going with the Chargers in this one. And the expected score for my stuff is actually a 19-19 draw, which we know that doesn't happen
Hmm.
in the league. But I think it's going to be pretty close, and I'm going to go with a low scoring one. I think the Chargers win this 21-17 uh,
Okay.
over the Broncos.
I do think this will be a defensive battle, and I'm not sure. I read this, so it could be totally wrong, but I believe I read that last season the Broncos had the best defense in the league,
Okay.
and they played Tennessee week 1. They struggled against Tennessee. Obviously, struggled with the Colts last week, and I think they start to get it together here, but it's not going to be enough to win the game.
Hmm.
Herbert is still going to pull this off, and I think he's going to have a field day. I don't think it's going to be, I think Denver will definitely probably get an interception or two, but I think my score is going to be really low,
Oh, okay.
like as in the Chargers beating the Broncos 13-10.
Wow, that is a low one. I mean, the Chargers only put up 20 against the Raiders. So I could see it, but I think that there might be a little bit more than that. But I mean, that is a thing. I know for our like betting people out there, you know, there's been a lot of unders in the betting world, and this one is they're saying under 45.5 is sitting at 105, negative 105, like that could, I think that's going to happen in this one for the betting odds. And then also for the spread is only 2.5 for Denver. So like I said, I think not Chicago. I don't even know where I got Chicago and all of that. The Chargers, yeah, I think the Chargers are definitely the better side. I can't wait to see what Herbert's numbers look like at the end of the season, as long as he stays
Yeah.
healthy and stuff. All right, Justin, this next one that we're going to talk about is the Arizona Cardinals versus the San Francisco 49ers. That game kicks off at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time, and both of these teams have won both of their games to open up the season. The Cardinals beating the Saints on the road and then beating Carolina there at home. And then the 49ers open up both of their games on the road against both Seattle and the Saints. So both of these teams played the Saints and barely squeaked by against the Saints, both teams. But I think the biggest thing that sticks out to me in this one is Brock Purdy is questionable for the 49ers in this one. What's your thoughts for this one?
Another quarterback,
Mm.
you know, we mentioned earlier Burrow and McCarthy. Here we are with Purdy, and filling in for Purdy is Mac Jones. I don't exactly trust it,
Mm-hmm.
but the 49ers are stacked with talent.
They are.
And based off their first two games, they're not dominating. Like they need to be dominating with the amount of talent that is on this team. The 49ers always seem to be pretty good. And we're not seeing it yet. We're not seeing it. And it could be a slow start. It's a long season. They could turn it around. We know this. We've seen it. But both of these teams, believe it or not, they're 2-0, but their performances have been so underwhelming.
Yes.
So this is a game that I think that is up in the air. It could go either way. But for me, I got to go with the talent, and I feel like the 49ers have way more talent on both sides of the ball.
So you're picking the 49ers even if Mac Jones starts. Now, Mac Jones did play against the Saints. He went 26 for 39 with three touchdowns and 279 yards. So that's not a bad performance on the road. Uh, but how good are the Saints is the question. Um, for Arizona, on the other side, Kyler Murray, 17 for 25 with a touchdown and an interception, and he threw for 220 yards. I like both of these teams, and like you said, up in the air. And match predictors saying the same thing. The betting odds for the spread only 2.5, and my expected score though is in favor of Arizona Cardinals to go on the road and win this one 25-22. But I'm with you. I think that this 49ers team has so much talent. I think that they're going to have to rely a little bit more on McCaffrey in this game for running game. But at the same time, Mac Jones, the numbers that he put up last week, those are decent numbers
Yeah.
for a quarterback that's supposed to be the backup quarterback. But I think, like you, I have to go with 49ers because of that. But also, again, the home field advantage, I have to say that is going to be a key factor in this. I think if it was the flip side, if they were in Arizona, I think that I would probably lean in favor of Arizona just because they were at home. Purdy is out. I think I would have went that way. But with it being there in San Francisco, I'm going to go with the 49ers. But I think it's going to be a close one. I think that just like all their other games for both teams, like Cardinals opened up 20-13, and then their second game was 27-22. For the 49ers, it was 17-13 and then 26-21. So really what a 6-point spread is what the max was between for either one of those sides. So I'm going to go with the 49ers to win this one, and I'll say something like 23-21.
Oh wow, 2-point game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close one.
I'm going with a close game as well, but mine is a 3-point, and I'm going 24-21.
Oh, okay, so fairly close. That we're pretty good at that with getting those scores kind of close. That's about it though, because we know that I cannot guess the winner right compared to week 2, compared to your week 2. So, all right. So moving on from that game to this one that is two teams that have lost both of their games, and I don't think that we were expecting this to happen for the Kansas City Chiefs starting 0-2, but it's the Chiefs versus the Giants. The Chiefs open up the season with a loss to the Chargers, which the Chargers are a very good side, very good defensively. And then they also lose to the Eagles. And we know that the Eagles are just, to me, the Eagles are just on another level. I think the Eagles are probably, in my opinion, the best team in the league, maybe. I wonder what your thoughts are on that. But the Giants lose to Washington and Dallas, but lost to Dallas in overtime. What do you think, Justin?
So yeah, Chiefs starting off 0-2. Once again, it's a long season. It's a long season. They can easily get it together, and I believe they do get it together this week. But I gotta say, man, Travis Kelce is so slow. I think it's time to hang the jersey up. Honestly, I think he should have hung it up last season. And I get it. He's out traveling the world with his boo. Okay, like I get it, man.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great tight end, but I think his time has gone. And people, especially probably Chiefs fans, they love that dynamic of Mahomes and Kelsey
Yeah.
so much. They still want to see it, but we're not seeing it anymore. And Mahomes needs a new go-to. And I even heard rumors of a potential trade that would bring Tyreek Hill back to Kansas City.
Oh, you did hear that. So
I did.
I know that as of I think it was yesterday on Pat McAfee's show, Adam Schefter, they called him Adam Stuff because he just kept saying stuff because he was texting
Oh,
while he was on the interview, and
yeah.
and of course Pat's going to ask him what's going on there, Shefty, and he's like stuff. He just kept saying stuff, so he called him Adam Stuff when he left, like his outro.
Yeah.
But he said that there was no rumor or no one has contacted the Dolphins about a move for Hill. But that doesn't mean that it didn't happen today. or last night, because I can see it. I feel like there might be some things wrong in that locker room there in Miami, and that's what's causing
Mm.
all the issues. But I mean, if Pat Mahomes got Hill again, I mean, but I agree with you, Kelsey. I think it's time for him to hang it up, man. I mean, I hate to say that. Still, I mean, he can catch the ball, but I mean, we all like that dynamic. I know that as fans of other teams, like we're tired of hearing about the Chiefs all the time. But man, what a duo between Mahomes and Kelsey. Like that is a great duo there. But I'm with you. I think that there's not much that we can really talk about the Giants other than I feel like Russell Wilson has gotten some hate already
Hmm.
through 2 weeks, but the man has the most passing yards in the league right now, I believe, at 618 yards, but only 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. So I think that's what stands out the most to some people. And he's also, but actually, the quarterback for both of these teams are their leading rushers. I think that is a huge thing right now in this season is like these quarterbacks are getting hurt because they have to run. They're going
Yeah,
to get shots.
Mahomes, he's running for his life, and if you got to see that game against Philadelphia or anything of it, man, that's all he was doing is running for his life and that in the backfield. The Giants they looked good against Dallas.
Mhm.
That was a wild game. And Russell Wilson, he didn't gel in Pittsburgh.
No,
It,
no.
it just didn't work last season. And he goes in, he has an incredible game against Dallas. Was not able. They failed the task to win the game, and I unfortunately think that they fail this task as well.
Yeah. I mean, I know that they're at home, but and this is a primetime game, 8:20 Eastern time. They are in East Rutherford. They're in New York, well, New Jersey, but they're at home. I'm with you. I think that the Chiefs are going to start to get it together. They're tired of hearing the negativity, and I feel like they're going to go out and get the dub here. What do you think the score line is going to be?
Well, we know the Chiefs are like they're no stranger to winning, and they know what it takes to win. But I think this will be. I don't think it's going to be a great game out of the Chiefs, but I think we start to see the turnaround here. This is where we start to see them maybe trying to figure things out. I don't know if you got to see or not, where like Kelsey was yelling on the sideline. He
But he does
yelling
this
at
all the
Andy Reid
time. Yeah,
again.
he does this all the time.
Poor Andy Reid, man. But it's when you're used to winning. I mean, I hate to say it, everybody wants to win. We always want to win in whatever we're doing,
Yeah.
whatever we're competing in. Nobody likes to lose, but especially the Kansas City Chiefs, who are used to winning. They're man, you just become a sore loser, and it ticks you off to the point where you got to get it figured out.
Yeah.
And whether that's how they handle their practices or whatever they're going to do to switch it up. I think they end up winning this game 24-16.
Oh wow. Okay. So that is close to what my prediction is. Also, the expected score that I have with my stuff is a 25-15 win for the Chiefs. So pretty close to what you're saying. Pretty close to what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that the Chiefs actually win 27-14. I don't think that it's going to be close. And I mean, the matchup predictor is saying that the Chiefs win. 66% is saying the Chiefs win. Also, the Chiefs, the Giants are given a +6.5 to start the game on the spread there at home. So that just shows you that even with both of these teams being 0-2, everything's pointing to the Chiefs. Would love to see an upset. The Chiefs start out 0-3. I think we'd all like that,
Oh wow,
but
yeah.
um, or not all of us, but some of us would like that. But I just don't see it happening. I think the Chiefs are just too good, and they're going to start. They're going to start getting back on track. I mean, Mahomes isn't going to let it slide, and even Kelsey, and Andy Reid. Andy Reid's probably he's one of the best. I would say
He
he's
is.
probably of our generation of us being able to watch the game. I would say Andy Reid is probably one of the best, if not the best, besides Belichick. Uh, Coaches out there,
Well,
that we've seen so
when he
far.
was with Philadelphia.
He won.
he, they were always a pretty successful team. I mean, he even got them to the Super Bowl. They didn't win it.
Yeah.
They ended up losing to the Patriots. But Andy Reid is, man, he is up there. Um, I would I would say he is one of the, if not the best head coach in the league right now.
Oh yeah, I would say right now, yeah. But I think some coaches they're coming up to try to say, hey, I want to be in that discussion too. So we'll
Mhm,
see. I mean, Philadelphia's coach, um, I think
mhm.
he's doing that. I also think that a team that we're getting ready to talk about, I think that Detroit Lions, if they continue to play like they are, I mean, he comes out of nowhere and he's becoming a good coach too, as a head coach. So speaking on that, we are going to talk about the Detroit Lions versus the Baltimore Ravens. This is our Monday night game. This is our last game that we're going to talk about tonight, and it is 8:15 kickoff on Eastern Standard Time. The Detroit Lions open up the season 1-1. Baltimore Ravens open up the season 1-1. Both teams losing in Week 1 on the road. Detroit losing 27-13 to the Green Bay Packers, which Packers could make you know, uh, an argument that they're the best team in the league this year so far. But we haven't got to talk about them yet. And then the Ravens lost to Buffalo 41-40, and they should have won that game. They were up by so much. I think both of us watched that game.
Mhm.
And what a comeback for the Bills. But then both teams win last week against very poor opponents. But Detroit Lions came out and smacked Bears in the mouth 52-21. And Baltimore Ravens beat Cleveland Browns 41-17. So both of them got the job done against teams that are a lot poorer than them. So,
Yeah, I think the Ravens being able to put up 40 points in the past 2 weeks back to back, man, like, then they should have won that week 1 game. That game was lost though because of a Derrick Henry fumble.
yes.
Derrick Henry also fumbled this week. Didn't cost him the game this time, but that is something to keep an eye on.
hmm If he's having trouble holding on to
Derrick,
the ball,
yes, he's gotta get that figured out, man. And let me tell you, this is game of the week.
I
This is
agree.
game of the week, and they knew what they were doing making this the Monday night game. And this is going to be. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I think the AFC will be represented by the Ravens in Super Bowl 60,
All you think the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl this year?
and
Ooh.
I think the Lions meet them there.
Oh shoot, you're thinking that this is going to be the Super Bowl matchup. I
I do.
I love that take.
And I believe this is what we will see in the Super Bowl. So we're getting an early matchup of it. The rematch will come much later,
hmm
but the Ravens crushed the Browns, the Lions slaughtered the Bears, but I still think the Ravens, they've got it figured out. They blew that week 1 game. Uh the Lions lost week 1, and I'm pretty sure I can't remember who the Lions played in week 1, but
Green Bay.
they Green that's right,
Yeah,
that's right.
at Green
You
Bay.
said
Yep.
Green Bay. And they're a good team, man. Green Bay is pretty solid. I like the Ravens here, man. I like the Ravens here, and I think they win pretty. I'm gonna go 34-17 Ravens here.
Oh wow, you're thinking that big of a gap, huh?
I am.
Oof.
I think now I don't know when we if my prediction comes true that this will be the Super Bowl matchup. I don't know if that score will be the same by the time we get there,
Yeah, yeah.
because we're much further into the season. We're still early here, but I like the Ravens here.
Okay, okay. So a lot of well, my formula there says that actually the Lions are going to go on the road and win this 31-19. I don't agree with that. Maybe I need to go in and tweak my formulas a little bit because I think the Ravens at home, they're not they're not going to get beat here in this game at home. I think that at home they might not lose at home this season. I might say that.
Mhm.
I kind of agree with you that this could be the matchup. I also think that for the NFC, Green Bay, like if Green Bay continues to play the way that they're playing, I think that they could beat the Lions out.
Philadelphia. Someone's got
Yeah,
to upset Philadelphia.
yeah, I was gonna say also Philadelphia. Those are the three teams that I like there in the
Hmm.
NFC. The Ravens and the Bills. I would really like to see. I obviously I'm a Dolphins fan. I'd like to see the Dolphins do it, but I don't think we're going to see the Dolphins do it in my lifetime. Um, but the Bills. I like Josh Allen. I
Me
really
too,
do,
man.
and I would like to see him get to a Super Bowl. Uh, if the Chiefs, if the Chiefs get it together, we can. They're always in that talk. But I don't know if I could. Man, that's a bold statement for you. Man, that's a bold statement to say this is going to be. I like it though. I love it. I love it. But I do have to agree with you here. Uh, again, also you were talking about Derek also fumbled last week. Dude, he had under 100 yards. He had under
Yeah.
he had under 25 yards against
Yep.
the Browns. He only had 23 yards on 11 carries. That is not the Derrick Henry we know, and that you
What did
loved.
Lamar do? Oh man, still love him. Still love him.
I know you do.
But what did Lamar do though? Like, what was his stats?
So
Because I think he had a good game.
he had a great game.
Yeah.
19 for 29 with 4 touchdowns and 225 yards. So that is a great game for Lamar in that area. I don't have the box score as in what he ran.
Mhm.
So he had actually 2 carries. So he only had 2 carries. So he stayed safe with
Oh wow.
13 yards on the game. But also we can talk about Jared Goff had a good game. I think against the Bears. I mean, he came out, he went 23 for 28 with 5 touchdowns against the Bears with 334 yards. I like Jared Goff also, but I think that I think the Lions are going to be tough to beat altogether this year, and I don't know if their schedule favors them throughout the whole season. Uh, and it kind of does. I mean, they do play the likes of both. They play Green Bay again, and then they
Mhm.
also play the Eagles at one point in time. So I think, like you said, I think it comes down to those three teams in the NFC. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Ravens to win this one, and I think a lot of us agree with that. The match predictor on ESPN is saying the Ravens. The spread is 4.5 for the line, so they're expecting the Ravens to cover that. I think it's going to be a close game. What is it that you said it was?
34-17 Ravens.
34-17. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than that, and I think that the Ravens win 27-21
Okay.
against Detroit. And again, I think that I maybe I lean a little too much on it, but I do think, especially with these good teams, so both of these teams are really good. That home field advantage plays a role, especially when your fans show up and you're a good side. That that plays a role in these games.
Derrick Henry had said when he was still playing for Tennessee that Baltimore was one of the hardest places to go and play.
Oh,
And those fans love their team, man. They show up, they
mhm.
show out, and yes, I can definitely see this being a challenge for Detroit. Yeah, everybody wanted Detroit last season. We had I believe the AFC Championship was the Chiefs and the Bills.
Mhm.
People wanted the Bills to win. We wanted a Bills and Lions Super Bowl. We didn't get it. We got the total opposite of what
Yeah,
everybody wanted.
yeah, we did, we did.
Um, but I really think, like you said, the three teams that on the NFC side, you've got the Packers who are looking really impressive, man. Um, you've got the Lions who are just a powerhouse, man. They get behind Dan Campbell, their head coach.
Mhm.
He's kind of like that Mike Vrabel,
Yeah.
like that guy gets in there with his boys.
Hmm.
He's not afraid to, and he that mentality that they have, they're gonna smash you. And then you got Harbaugh there in Baltimore. It feels like he's been there forever. But man, they are always pretty good, and now it feels as if the dynamic they've built there with it was like a dream to have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson
Hmm.
together. I mean, what could you do with them? But it seems like and it's early.
Mhm,
Seems like teams are starting to kind of figure something out, but not completely. Like they shut Derek down last week,
mhm.
but they couldn't stop Lamar from doing what he was doing.
And it was all throwing.
So
It wasn't,
yeah,
we know Lamar as semi, runner because Lamar
yeah,
Jackson can throw the ball and he's good at passing too, but he does have those legs. And
mhm,
he stood back there and had a good game. Yes, it's the Cleveland Browns, but if they're shutting down the run game and you have to rely on that, he has yet to throw an interception this season. So
yeah.
he's making smart decisions, and if that continues, I think that, like you said, the Ravens could be that team in the AFC to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. So, is there any other takes you got there? I mean, and also, I'm getting ready to ask you if there's any other takes, but putting up 40 points in both of your first two games. Yes, you did lose that first one, but putting up 40 points 2 weeks in a row, that's something that's something big. And then also against the Bills, putting up 40 against the Bills, I feel like they have a decent defense. But yeah, I think that has something to say too.
In the NFL, anytime you're able to put up, like, I think we all would really enjoy like a huge game, like a back and forth offensive game. Like they're fun.
Hmm.
I mean, defensive games, they're tough, but they're not exciting.
Yeah.
When you've got a low scoring defensive battle. I think I can't remember what year it was, but there was the one year the Chiefs and the Rams went against each other, and the score was crazy. It was so high on both sides, and I do want to say this though. I am in no way disrespecting the Lions whatsoever. Jared Goff is such a really good quarterback. I mean, he's been to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good Super Bowl.
No, it
Remember
wasn't
that
a good one.
that Patriots Rams one. Um, but man, he is one of the quarterbacks in the league that has really shocked me. I never thought that Goff would be as good as he is,
Yeah.
and he is.
Hmm.
So, I'm in no way, shutting the Lions down here, but I think when, like you said, home field advantage, on top of how dominant the Ravens have already been in 2 weeks, I can't pick against them.
Yeah. And like you, I think I love the fact that Jared Goff found a new life with the Lions because it kind of went downhill with the Rams, right? That's who he was with.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was with
Remember,
the
because
Rams.
that was the trade with Stafford.
Yes, yes, they just like kind of flipped. But I'm glad that he found. I mean, right now, 80%, almost 81% completion percentage on the season. Yes, it's only two games, but like, yeah, he has had a great season so far, and he's had a good couple seasons with the Lions, and so I'm excited to see what he continues to do for them and with them. So, but yeah, we don't want to, no disrespect to him, but yeah, I the Ravens are just a better team in this one.
Mhm.
So I got to ask you, I'm going to, what do you think the Titans are going to do this week, real quick before we get out of here? Hey, Cam Ward, is he the guy? Is he? I see people on TikTok, because I'm not TikTok, on Twitter or X, however you say it. I'm also a fan of Nashville SC, and a lot of the people that I follow that like soccer, they also like the Titans, and it's crazy. Like my my timeline is flooded, and some people are saying that Cam Ward's that guy.
I really think he is. I think he is very talented. I think he has shown some really bright spots in his first 2 games of his NFL career. Um, I just, he finally got his first passing touchdown, and it was on a play that was broken. Can't even, man, I'm done with this coaching staff. I'm done with it. Clock management, they have no idea what they're doing. It's brutal. Had a first good half, man. Second half, it just we crumbled.
I mean,
And
you were
the
in it in the first half. It
yes,
was at halftime, what, 13-10?
yeah, or yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I believe so. And it's just like, now Cam did make some mistakes. There was a fumble that he had. He did overthrow one of the receivers. Man, this team is so young.
Mhm.
Also, like I've been a Titans fan for a very long time. I've been through the Jake Locker era, um, the Mariota stuff, and heck, even before that, Vince Young, Kerry Collins, all that kind of stuff. Um, but I thought Mariota was special too, and he was to the team. But unfortunately, I believe once again we didn't let Mariota be Mariota,
Mhm.
and I'm afraid this coaching staff isn't going to let Cam Ward be Cam Ward. And he's got it, man.
Yeah.
He's got it. They just got to let him loose.
Yeah. Let him play. Yeah, because I mean,
Yep.
he went 19 for 33 with one touchdown and 175 yards against the Rams, which Rams are 2-0 now on the season. They're a good team too. And like you said, they played well through the first half. It's just that second half. But I like what I've seen of the highlights and stuff of Cam, and I hope that he does become that guy for you guys.
Cam Ward is known for slinging the football, and most of his first 2 weeks were doing these little 5 yard, 10 yard dump offs, or and just I'm like, man, it's his rookie season. Let him get comfortable. Like, I know we're not gonna go and make the playoffs this season. It's not gonna happen.
Mhm.
But like, let him go get comfortable. Let him do his thing. Quit like keeping him like boxed in. Let these guys do what they do. And I think that's what Baltimore allowed Lamar Jackson to do.
Yeah, just let him play.
Lamar Jackson, let him play,
Let him
and,
make
and he'll figure
mistakes.
it
Yep.
out.
Let him make mistakes.
I don't think when Lamar came into the league, he was a great passer.
Mm,
But here he is now. However many years it's been that he's been in the league, man, he's figured out by getting better and making the mistakes. And I'm ready for a new coaching staff. We're wasting time. We're wasting time.
wasting time. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, let him make mistakes. It's his rookie year, and you're 0-2 on the season. Let him make those. Let him make decisions. Have them teachable moments. Let him make mistakes, but let him play his style of game. And like you said, I agree with you because we always talked. I think that's when I was really still into NFL a lot, and I'm glad that this year I'm getting back in it. This has been between this and college football this season. It's been fantastic in the short amount of time that the both leagues have been back. It's week 4 for college football and week 3 for NFL. Like, I'm very much enjoying watching as much football as I have this season. And I was with you, in it with you with Mariota, and like you said, it blows my mind because even from a soccer standpoint, I know that I bring that up and this isn't a soccer channel, but that's what I've been watching a lot of the last few years. And you have to, as a coach, be able to adapt to the players that you have. And to me, that's what makes a good coach. If you can figure out what your players play and everything with the team that you have. And that's the thing that they need to do. Like, if that is what Cam Ward is, known to do, is sling the ball and stuff, like, you have to change up, you know, I know that there's 10 other players on offense, but your quarterback is the one that dictates everything,
Mhm.
and runs the team and is the leader. So you have to pretty much, if this is what if you draft him number 1 overall, so you pretty much have to build around him. So make sure that your offense fits his game style to help him succeed. And if they're not doing that, get him out of here. Get him out of here.
I'll say one more thing too. Like with Mariota, he was drafted and under, I believe it was Ken Wisenhunt, but we fired him,
Mhm.
rightfully so. We got Ken Wisenhunt 2.0 right now on the sideline, but um, one once Mike Mularkey took over the team, he let Mariota be Mariota,
Mhm.
and it was almost 10 years that the Titans hadn't been to the playoffs, and Mariota and that team, man, they did it. They did it, and it was special. And but then Mike Vrabel came in, and I loved Vrabel as a Titans coach, but that was not how he wanted his quarterback to play. And eventually the benching of Mariota happened and Tannehill came in, and Tannehill was more of what
Yep.
Vrabel wanted
Hmm.
as a quarterback. He hated when Tannehill would even run.
Yeah.
There's clips of him chewing Tannehill out on the sideline, even though he got the first down or a touchdown. That's not what he wanted, and I think we ruined Mariota when all that happened.
Yeah. And speaking of Mariota, supposedly there might be a chance that he plays this weekend. If I remember that correctly, someone I forget who's he playing for. They're hurt. Washington.
Washington, yeah,
Yeah. So if Daniels is hurt, I did not get to see the. So don't come at me. I haven't looked at that injury report, but I know that there was on Twitter Mariota was trending, and I had to click on it
mhm,
because I didn't know what was going on. I was like, man, he's
yeah.
trending. Like I got to look at that, and like there's
It's
a
been a while.
yeah, like there's a chance that he could play, and I hope that he has a great game. I always liked Mariota too when he played
I
for
did
the
too.
Titans, so
Yeah,
he was one of your favorites. I mean, at the time, he
he
was one of
was,
your
man.
favorite players. So,
He was.
but anything else, man? You got anything else to say about this week 3 games or
No,
anything?
we'll see how it goes. We were on the same page for almost all these games,
I
so
I think we were. I
I
think
think
that we
every one of them.
yeah, every one of them we
Yeah,
agreed. And there was a couple of them that I thought that you would go the other way than what I did. I
yeah,
think maybe the Arizona game. I thought maybe you'd pick Arizona because Purdy was out for 49ers, but we
yeah.
both think that the 49ers will get it done.
We'll see. I'm excited for week 3, especially that Monday night game. I will be watching, and we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you again, Justin, for coming and hanging out. I actually love doing this. This is last week after we did it, I was like, I can't wait until next week. Can't wait to do it again next week. So, again, thank you for coming on, and we will see how this week goes.